20 simple ways to improve your creativity. Have you ever felt like your brain has completely frozen, unable to come up with even the smallest idea? That's exactly what I went through for a quarter of a year, and I get how paralyzing it can be. I used to pride myself on being a fountain of ideas, but facing a creativity block taught me something important. Creativity isn't a born superpower, it's a skill that needs regular practice. Today, I'm sharing the exact method that helped me break free from creative paralysis and unlock a flood of ideas. If I can do it, so can you. Chapter 1: Mental Automation Mode. Consider this. Can you recall what you consumed for your morning meal 3 days ago? Drawing a blank? This perfectly illustrates my point. When we fall into repetitive patterns, our minds shift into what scientists call cognitive autopilot, a state of mental cruise control. The troubling aspect: our brains actually prefer this state of minimal effort. Picture your typical day: rise, caffeinate, work, stream shows, rest, repeat. While physically awake, your mind is essentially hibernating. The real creativity killer isn't a lack of innovation or time constraints. It's this self-imposed comfort cocoon we've created. I stumbled upon this insight unexpectedly when my coffee machine malfunctioned one morning. While initially frustrating, this small disruption jolted my brain from its slumber like an unexpected plunge into cold water. During autopilot, your brain operates like a closed system. No new input, no fresh output. It's comparable to attempting to stream content with no internet connection, just endless buffering. But here's the fascinating part. Your brain craves novelty. It yearns for fresh experiences and new patterns. This doesn't require dramatic life changes like relocating abroad or switching careers. Sometimes simple alterations like using your non-dominant hand for breakfast or exploring an alternative commute route can create significant cognitive shifts. Now, let me show you practical ways to reinvigorate your brain without completely disrupting your life's structure. Chapter 2: The Eureka Moment. Let me pose an intriguing question. When do your most brilliant ideas surface? I'm willing to bet it's during a steamy shower, perhaps while exercising, or in those drowsy moments before sleep. This pattern isn't mere coincidence, and I'm about to explain the fascinating science behind it. Initially, I questioned my own experience. Why did solutions to complex problems mysteriously materialize while I was performing the mundane task of washing my hair? The revelation I discovered is both counterintuitive and powerful. Your most creative moments often occur when you're not actively pursuing them. Consider the common thread among these situations. They all involve simple, automatic activities that allow your mind to wander freely. It's similar to how a kitten loses interest in a laser pointer the moment you stop moving it, only to pounce when least expected. The fantastic news: you can deliberately engineer these productive mental states. I've termed these autopilot moments, and learning to harness them transformed my creative output dramatically. Suddenly, routine activities like washing dishes or organizing clothes became fertile ground for innovation. However, and this is crucial, you must develop a system to capture these insights instantly, as they're as ephemeral as morning dew. Chapter 3: The Power of Space. Consider this. Why does your behavior automatically shift when you move from your living room to your office? This seemingly obvious distinction actually reveals a profound truth about human cognition that revolutionized my approach to work. Through experience, I discovered that our brains respond remarkably differently to distinct environments. My breakthrough came after realizing I had turned my workspace into the equivalent of a cluttered utility drawer. You know, that chaotic space containing miscellaneous cables, expired warranties, and unidentified keys we're reluctant to discard. By using the same space for everything from eating to brainstorming, I had created mental chaos. The solution emerged through what I called dedicated zones. First, I established my inspiration station, simply a comfortable chair and good lighting, deliberately phone-free. Then came my productivity zone, a minimalist desk setup with just essentials and zero distractions. The remarkable effect: simply moving between these spaces triggered different mental states automatically. The beauty of this system lies in its simplicity. You don't need an expansive home or elaborate office setup. Even designating different areas within the same room can create effective psychological boundaries. It's about establishing distinct mental territories that signal different modes of thinking to your brain. Want proof? Notice how your mind shifts gears when you step into a library versus a cafe. Your environment shapes your mental state more profoundly than you might realize. Chapter 4: The Chronological Sweet Spot. Let me share a critical misconception I held, believing creativity could strike at any hour. How wrong I was. Remember those futile late-night study sessions in college? Your brain wasn't being stubborn. It was following its natural rhythm. Here's a revelation that transformed my creative process. Creativity operates on a biological schedule. Once I understood this, it was like discovering a secret passage to peak performance. Think of your brain as a sophisticated device with varying power levels throughout the day. During certain hours, you're capable of brilliant insights, while at others, even simple tasks feel monumentally challenging. My optimal creative window revealed itself unexpectedly at 6:30 a.m. Before you dismiss this as another early bird gets the worm lecture, consider this. Your mind operates like freshly brewed coffee in the morning, energized and potent. By afternoon, it's more akin to a forgotten cup of tea, still functional, but lacking that initial spark. The encouraging news: you don't need to force yourself into becoming an early riser. Everyone possesses unique peak hours, so individuals experience their creative surge at midnight. Think of it like photography. You wouldn't attempt to capture important shots in poor lighting, so why force creativity when your mental energy is depleted? Chapter 5: The 120-Second Solution. Here's the biggest creative myth I need to debunk: the belief that meaningful creation requires vast chunks of uninterrupted time. Let me introduce you to a game-changing concept: the 2-minute principle. Picture this scenario from last week. I faced an important deadline, but my mind felt completely scattered. You know that state where deciding what to eat for lunch feels like solving a complex equation? That's when I implemented this simple strategy, setting a timer for just 120 seconds. The magic lies in its simplicity. 2 minutes of unrestricted ideation. No editing, no critiquing, no overthinking. The fascinating result? When the timer chimed, I actually wanted to continue. This brief time frame tricks your brain into thinking. This isn't overwhelming. It's comparable to convincing yourself to eat just one potato chip. We all know how that typically ends. The beauty of this method is its versatility. It works for creative writing, artistic endeavors, project planning, even household organization. Here's the hidden benefit. Frequently, you'll find yourself working well beyond the initial 2 minutes. But that's our secret. Don't let your brain know that's the plan. The key is maintaining the illusion of a minimal commitment while allowing natural momentum to take over. Chapter 6: The Power of Natural Connection. When did you last spend time simply observing a tree without any digital distractions? Just you and nature in its purest form. It might sound unconventional, but there's profound wisdom in this simple practice. Let me share a personal revelation that transformed my creative process. During a particularly challenging project last year, my mind was completely overwhelmed. Imagine a computer on the verge of crashing. Reluctantly, I took my dog for a walk and something extraordinary occurred. Creative solutions emerged effortlessly while I observed the gentle movement of leaves in the breeze. This wasn't mere coincidence. Our minds have an innate affinity for natural environments. It serves as a mental cleansing mechanism. The organic patterns, natural color palette, and rhythmic movements in nature act as a therapeutic reset for our cognitive processes. The beauty lies in its accessibility. You don't need to embark on extensive wilderness expeditions. Simple interactions with nature can be equally effective. Whether it's nurturing a desktop succulent, taking an alternative route through a park, or pausing to observe the ever-changing cloud formations, each interaction offers creative benefits. Consider nature as your creative companion, reliable, always available, and infinitely patient. The key is incorporating these natural moments into your daily routine. Position plants within your line of sight, choose scenic routes, and make a habit of skyward glances. Chapter 7: The Sonic Gateway to Creativity. My most significant creative breakthrough wasn't through conventional methods or expensive resources. It was through the strategic use of sound. While this might seem overly simplistic, the science behind audio-enhanced creativity is fascinating. I discovered that certain sounds, particularly rainfall, consistently triggered creative flow states. This led to a broader realization: different audio environments catalyze different types of creative thinking. Consider the creative appeal of coffee shops. They offer an optimal blend of ambient sounds that naturally stimulate creative thinking. The key is identifying your personal sonic triggers. While some thrive in complete silence, others find inspiration in intense rhythms. I developed customized playlists for various creative states, from chaotic compositions for brainstorming to instrumental flows for focused work. Here's a powerful insight: consistent use of specific soundscapes creates a conditioned response, similar to Pavlovian conditioning. The best part? This technique requires minimal investment. Even basic headphones can unlock this creative potential. Chapter 8: Movement as a Creative Catalyst. Your cognitive function has a fascinating relationship with physical movement. Prolonged stillness isn't just uncomfortable, it actively impedes your creative potential. A simple standing reminder on my device, typically an easy notification to dismiss, led to an unexpected breakthrough. The science behind this phenomenon is compelling. Physical movement increases oxygen flow, enhances circulation, and triggers the release of neurotransmitters that promote cognitive function. The beauty lies in its simplicity. You don't need intensive exercise to reap these benefits. Small physical activities can yield significant creative returns. Standing during calls, incorporating subtle movements while preparing beverages, or stretching during mental blocks. I've developed a practice called ideation walks. Rather than forcing solutions through static contemplation, I engage in physical movement. Remarkably, solutions often emerge organically when you're not actively pursuing them. Even now, as I compose this while walking, the enhanced flow of ideas is evident. Chapter 9: The Restorative Power of Sleep. Let me share a critical lesson about creative potential. I once viewed sleep as an impediment to productivity. Operating on minimal rest and sustained by caffeine, I believed I was optimizing my output. In reality, I was severely undermining my creative capabilities. Picture this scenario. Late-night work sessions seemed to produce brilliant ideas, yet morning review revealed incoherent results. This realization led to a profound understanding. Our cognitive function parallels device battery life. Just as you wouldn't start your day with a depleted device, operating on insufficient rest compromises creative capacity. Sleep serves as an essential cognitive process, transforming daily experiences into creative insights. Those moments of morning clarity, when solutions appear spontaneously, aren't coincidental. They're the result of nocturnal neural processing. I've transformed my approach to rest, treating it as a crucial creative tool. Maintaining consistent sleep patterns, free from digital distractions, has revolutionized my creative output. The results were remarkable. A week of quality sleep generated more creative insights during morning routines than extended periods of sleep-deprived work, the most encouraging aspect. This transformation requires no specialized equipment, simply honoring your brain's natural need for restoration. Part 1 ends here. Comment continue if you'd like to explore the remaining sections. See you in Part 2.